Hi everyone, and welcome to the We channel, your We channel. And yes, this channel is about the we inside of you, where you start referencing yourself as the we, the great we, the amazing mind, heart, body, soul, subconscious, all these great manifesting parts of you that are now have to be integrated into a we, and then you move forward and manifest the life you want and the life you deserve. So our topic for today is the three brains, the model of the brain, and understanding how that governs our reactions. And Paul MacLean, we're going to reference his model. He was a neuroscientist, and he referenced the brain as three brains. And Howell Hendricks talks about it in his book that I'm reading at the moment, Getting the Love You Want. So it's really such a great book. And basically, they talk about three brains. So your reptilian brain, your old brain, and then your forebrain. That's basic model that we're going to be using. We're not going to get too sciencey, but just it's important to understand how these brains function and how quickly it happens in a split second in terms of your reactions. Okay, so the reptilian brain, just quickly, is there to govern your critical functions, your productive functions, your flight and fight response, important vital areas of breathing, circulation, etc. So that's the function of the reptilian brain. It's called the reptilian brain because all vertebrates share that part of the anatomy. And then you have this thing coming up at the top, which is called your limbic brain, or your old brain, what they refer to as the old brain. And the old brain is really governing vivid reactions, emotions. So scientists in laboratory would try to trigger the limbic brain in animals and trigger fear and aggression, for example. So think of the old brain as hardwired for these kind of reactions, think of it that way. The forebrain is your cognitive area, and that is very rational. It assimilates information, it plans, organizes, it gives you ideas, and that's the function. It relates consciously with your environment. That's a part of your brain that relates with your environment as we know it. So those are your three brains. So what the hell does this have to do with my reactions? Okay, so I'm about to tell you, because I have been such a reactor in my life. I can go from a 0 to 100 like that, and I've managed to calm me down in my 40 plus years on this earth. But I still get tripped up every now and then, just like everybody else, and I was really curious, like, why am I reacting this way? Why do I get so angry? Why do I get so irritated? Why, I wish I could just get a better handle of it, and it's been a lot better. I'm a lot better at doing this, but there's still a lot of instances where I react. And what happens when you react is there's different parts of your brain that's transmitting information. So Howell Hendricks uses this analogy in the book Getting the Love You Want of, firstly, let's just talk about how it perceives information. So when you think the limbic brain, the old brain, the middle brain, it doesn't actually differentiate between a neighbor, a friend, etc. The forebrain sends information to the limbic brain to say, oh, this is my neighbor. The limbic brain then runs it through and says, this is a Homo sapien. It's safe to nurture, it's not safe to nature. We may interact with this person, we may have sex with this person, we may flee from this person. So that's how the old brain digests that image from the forebrain about your neighbor, It doesn't look at it like, oh, that's my neighbor Mike. So another example they use in terms of reactions is there's someone that walks into the room. The forebrain sends an image of that someone to the old brain, and the old brain starts saying, oh gosh, yes, this is a Homo sapien. We've interacted with this person before. It goes through the database and it says, yes, it's safe to proceed with this person. In fact, the data suggests in the old brain that past interactions with this person have been good and have been pleasurable. So you may proceed. And what do you do in that split second when somebody's walking into the room? You get up and you say, hey, grandma, it's so good to see you. And you throw your arms around your grandmother. Now, you're not noticing all these reactions happening in a split second, but that's how the brain has processed this person walking into the room. Now, the book then talks about another same analogy where your grandmother's sister, Aunt Carol, then walks into the room. and you have a different reaction. You're like hesitant. You're not so, excited to see her. There's something just holding back. So what happens is, when you were a baby 30 years ago, 40 years ago, for example, this is just an example, and your mom was about to give birth, and then your parents, your mom and dad, tried to prepare you for the birth, and they said to you, oh, your Aunt Carol is going to come and fetch you, and you're going to be staying at Aunt Carol, and Mommy's going to go away to the hospital, and Mommy's going to go bye-bye just for a few days. But as a baby, you didn't understand hospital, and you didn't understand new baby born brother. You didn't understand those two words. All you understood as a baby was mummy and bye-bye. That's what you understood. And then for the next few weeks, you were sucking your thumb as a baby and really anxious and fearful. What does this mean? Mummy, bye-bye. What does this mean? And then your mom went into labor 40 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, in this example. Your mom went in labor and you were in a sound sleep. And the next thing you know, you woke up in Aunt Carol's house. And she was loving and warm to you, but you were stressing, why has mom left me? Why have I been abandoned? What's going on? And you were so scared and anxious and panicked. So when Aunt Mary walks into the room, present day scenario, the old brain then says, the forebrain sends an image of Aunt Mary to the old brain, and the old brain then goes to the data, brings up that memory and says, oh, this is not safe to proceed. This represents rejection, abandonment, anxiousness, panic. And you then sitting there on the couch, present day, wondering, why are you holding back? What's going on? Why am I so anxious? And even though your interactions with Aunt Carol over the years, over 30 years, 40 years, 25 years, whatever, have been amazing and pleasant and wonderful, there's still a part of you that's holding back. And it's kind of like a struggle for you to even, in that millisecond, get up and throw your arms around her like you did with your grandmother. So this is just a little analogy using neuroscientist Paul MacLean's model, and referencing the example used in Harvey Keitel's book, Getting the Love You Want. It's such a great way, because now when I react, I think, oh gosh, my forebrain is actually taking control of this reaction. And in that moment, I'm like, okay, step back, forebrain. Old brain. Sorry, the old brain is taking care of that reaction. Step back, old brain. We're not at risk. We're not in danger. We are safe. We are loved, we are worthy, we are enough, we are perfect just as we are. We don't need that kind of data right now. And in that, when you get used to working with your mind and working with your thoughts and governing them, and you then now directing what is going forward in that interaction with XYZ person, ABC individual. And it just starts becoming a bit fun, because you can actually use it in non-threatening situations, like, going through fast food drive-through, and seeing how you react if they take too long or they get the order mixed up. Then start playing around and say, oh, hang on a second, what is my old brain doing now, And so have a bit of fun with it. Always have fun with these things. And because once you start having fun with it, when it comes to more serious matters, a fight with your beloved, a fallout at work, being retrenched or whatever, and then you can see that flight and fight response from the reptilian brain, and you can see how the old brain is trying to govern and manage your reactions. And then the entire point of this video is to say, these are the things that you want to step outside of yourself, observe what's going on, and in the observation is where you rise up and take control of all these things. Okay, so you want to just take control more and more and more, and you want to be in the driving seat of your life. Okay, so that's our video for today. I hope it's helped, and have fun with it. Tell me your stories, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please share. Thank you so much. See you on the next video. Bye.